Have you ever had someone ask you a question that felt innocent, but deep down, something didn't sit right? Maybe they smiled, kept eye contact, and said all the right words, yet something about it felt off. That's not intuition. That's wisdom trying to warn you. Liars don't always yell. They ask. They ask questions designed to twist your truth, to make you explain yourself, to make you doubt what you know. It's never, "Did I hurt you?" It's always, "Why are you overreacting?" It's never, "How can we fix this?" It's, "So, you think you're perfect?" See, manipulation hides in conversation. And once you learn the 5 questions liars use to control your mind, you'll stop falling for their games forever. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see right through every fake smile and smooth talker that ever tried to deceive you. Today, we'll break down 5 questions manipulators love to ask, and how a Stoic mind stays calm, clear, and untouchable through them all. 1. Don't you trust me? This is the manipulator's first weapon, emotional guilt. When someone asks, "Don't you trust me?" what they're really saying is, "I need you to ignore your intuition." The Stoics taught that your reason, your clear judgment, is the highest virtue. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can show me I am mistaken, I will gladly change. But until then, I will not act against my reason." That's how you stay free. When a liar asks, "Don't you trust me?" pause. Because genuine trust never needs to be defended, it is earned through consistent truth. A manipulator wants blind loyalty, not genuine trust. They frame the question to make you feel wrong for protecting yourself. But here's the Stoic move: stay calm. Don't defend. Simply reply, "I trust people who give me reasons to." Your composure will disarm them faster than anger ever could. You don't owe trust to anyone who's still proving themselves. The Stoic fortress: why this question fails. The manipulator's question is a subtle but powerful attempt to bypass your most critical defense mechanism, your rational judgment. They want to trigger an emotional response, shame, guilt, or fear of damaging the relationship, because they know that once you're emotional, you're less likely to think clearly about their motives or their track record. The core of Stoicism is the understanding that while we cannot control external events or other people's actions, their trustworthiness, for instance, we can absolutely control our judgments and our responses. A manipulator wants blind loyalty, not genuine trust. They frame the question to make you feel wrong for protecting yourself. But here's the Stoic move: stay calm. Don't defend. Simply reply, "I trust people who give me reasons to." Your composure will disarm them faster than anger ever could. You don't owe trust to anyone who's still proving themselves. The Stoic fortress: why this question fails. The manipulator's question is a subtle but powerful attempt to bypass your most critical defense mechanism, your rational judgment. They want to trigger an emotional response, shame, guilt, or fear of damaging the relationship, because they know that once you're emotional, you're less likely to think clearly about their motives or their track record. The core of Stoicism is the understanding that while we cannot control external events or other people's actions, their trustworthiness, for instance, we can absolutely control our judgments and our responses. When a manipulator asks, "Don't you trust me?" the Stoic mind immediately processes this as an external event, a sound wave, a rhetorical question, and refuses to grant it the power to disturb inner peace. Your trust is not a simple on-off switch, it's a rational assessment based on empirical evidence, past behavior. To the Stoic, sacrificing truth, your rational assessment, for the sake of emotional comfort, avoiding a confrontation, is the ultimate failure of virtue. Dissecting the trust-loyalty trap. The key difference here, as noted, is between genuine trust and demanding blind loyalty. Genuine trust is built on the Stoic virtues. Justice: the person acts fairly and honestly. Courage: they are willing to own up to mistakes and have difficult conversations. Temperance: they don't indulge in excessive or reckless behavior that puts others at risk. Wisdom/reason: their actions are thought out, not purely impulsive or deceitful. A manipulator, however, seeks loyalty, specifically, an unearned, uncritical adherence. This type of loyalty is a weapon they use to insulate themselves from accountability. When you question them, they flip the script. The problem isn't their suspicious behavior, the problem is your lack of faith. This inversion of accountability is the hallmark of gaslighting and manipulation. To a Stoic, you are not responsible for the manipulator's feelings of insecurity when you ask for evidence or exercise caution. You are only responsible for acting in accordance with your own reason. Epictetus advised, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. In this context, things include the fact that some people are untrustworthy. Wishing they were different and ignoring the evidence is a path to suffering. Accepting reality and acting rationally is the path to freedom. The power of the elegant rebuttal. The prescribed reply, I trust people who give me reasons to, is a perfect example of Stoic communication. It is non-emotional, it contains no anger, defensiveness, or attack. It's a statement of personal policy, not a personal accusation. Fact-based, it introduces the criterion for trust, evidence, reasons, back into the conversation. It shifts the focus away from your disloyalty and back onto their actions. Empowering, by stating this boundary, you claim ownership of your moral judgment. You are effectively saying, my trust is a valuable gift, not an obligation. Imagine the scene, the manipulator asks the loaded question, their eyes searching for a crack in your resolve. You pause, employing the Stoic practice of prosoke, or attention to the present moment and your own judgments, and deliver the line calmly. If they push back, demanding to know what reasons they haven't provided, you can maintain your ground without escalation. You could simply add, my judgments about trustworthiness are a matter for me to decide, based on actions, not words. Or, even more simply, my current comfort level is my own business. This level of calm, boundary-setting refusal to be emotionally hijacked demonstrates self-sufficiency, an important facet of Stoic freedom. You are an impregnable fortress because the manipulator's words are unable to breach the walls of your rational mind. Self-trust, the foundation. Ultimately, the manipulator's question, don't you trust me, is a test of your self-trust. They want you to doubt your intuition, your rational memory of their past behaviors, and your right to self-protection. The Stoic practice involves constantly training your mind to prioritize virtue, acting rationally, above all externals, the manipulator's opinion, the temporary discomfort of confrontation. When you stand firm and refuse to grant unearned trust, you are not just disarming a manipulator, you are strengthening your most vital relationship, the one with your own rational self. You become untouchable because your sense of self-worth and correctness is rooted in your own reason, not in the approval or manufactured emotional demands of others. That is the true, unshakable freedom that Stoicism offers. Your clarity is your armor. 2. Why are you so sensitive? This question isn't meant to understand you. It's meant to silence you. A manipulator uses it to flip the script, turning your natural emotional response into something shameful. They hurt you, lie to you, or cross a boundary, and when you react, they suddenly become the calm one. They tilt their head, sigh, and say, why are you so sensitive? Now the story isn't about their behavior, it's about your reaction. That's how liars protect their image. They make you doubt your reality. But here's the truth, being sensitive doesn't make you weak. It means you feel, and feeling deeply is not the problem. The problem is when someone uses your feelings against you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, if anyone can prove me wrong, I will gladly change. But until then, I will not act against my reason. That's what you must do. Hold on to your reason, even when they mock your emotion. You see, when someone asks, why are you so sensitive, they're not seeking truth, they're seeking control. They want to confuse your sense of justice, to make you question your own judgment. The Stoic response, clarity over chaos. A Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. They understand it. When anger, sadness, or disappointment arises, the Stoic observes it, not as something bad, but as a signal. That emotion is your internal compass saying, something is off here. So, when someone accuses you of being too sensitive, pause. Don't explain, don't argue, don't justify your reaction. Simply ask yourself, is what I'm feeling justified by reality? If it is, you stand firm. You do not owe an apology for your awareness. Stoicism teaches emotional discipline, not emotional denial. It means learning to feel without letting feelings rule you. That's power. So, when they try to use this question to make you small, remember, sensitivity becomes strength when guided by reason. The person who feels and still stays calm is the one in control. How this question works, the manipulator's game. The line, "Why are you so sensitive?" is more than mockery. It's a trap. It's meant to pull you into defending your emotions instead of addressing their actions. Imagine this, someone breaks your trust. You express disappointment. They roll their eyes and say, "You're just too emotional." Now, instead of them explaining their betrayal, you're suddenly trying to prove that your feelings are valid. You've been pulled off balance. That's the trap. A manipulator thrives on that imbalance because as long as you're busy doubting yourself, they don't have to change. 3. Are you going to believe me or them? This is the liar's favorite weapon, isolation. When all else fails, they'll turn your world into a battlefield of loyalty. This question, are you going to believe me or them, is not about truth. It's about control. They know the moment you start doubting everyone else, they own your trust. So, they create confusion, twist stories, and make you feel like the only safe place is them. It's emotional manipulation disguised as innocence. The hidden strategy behind this question. Let's break it down. A liar thrives in shadows. They can't survive in environments of honesty and open communication, because truth exposes them. So, they divide. They isolate. By asking, "Are you going to believe me or them?" they force you to pick sides. And they frame that choice as a test of love or loyalty. But here's what's really happening, they are afraid of exposure. Because if you listen to them, the friends, family, or colleagues who see through the lies, their mask will fall. So, they make you feel guilty for even considering another perspective. You start thinking, maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I should just trust them. And that's how manipulation begins, not by force, but by emotional guilt. The Stoic view, trust, but with wisdom. A Stoic understands that trust is sacred, but it should never be blind. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When someone demands that you only believe them, they are shutting down your ability to think freely. They're saying, "Don't question me. Don't verify. Just trust me." But Stoicism teaches the opposite, truth invites examination. Lies fear it. So, when someone says, "Are you going to believe me or them?" your calm answer should be, "I'll believe what reason and evidence reveal." You don't have to argue. You don't have to shout. Just stand on reason, because reason is unshakable. Story time, the friend who wanted control. Let me tell you a story. A young man named Chitty had two friends, one honest, one manipulative. The manipulative one often told him, "Don't listen to others, they're just jealous. I'm the only one who truly cares about you." Over time, Chitty began cutting people off. He stopped listening to advice. He isolated himself, thinking he was being loyal. Until one day, he found out the friend had been lying behind his back the whole time, using his trust to cover deceit. That's the danger of unquestioned loyalty. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Sometimes, everyone around you sees what you don't, not because you're blind, but because you've been taught not to look.